Assalamu alaikum and welcome to Future Stars live on Hidayat TV. I'm your host Shah, and today it is the 5th of Ramadan and we are continuing with our Prophethood series. But before we start our Prophethood series, one of our guests will be talking a little bit more in detail about Ramadan. So, but first of all, I'd like to introduce my guests.
Assalamu alaikum, my name is Misbah.
Assalamu alaikum, my name is Mohsin.
Assalamu alaikum, my name is Hussein.
Thank you for that introduction. Before Hussein's go into talking about Ramadan and go in detail about Ramadan, we usually have a surah, don't we? Yeah. And Misbah will be reciting the surah today, and Mohsin will be reciting the translation. So can we start, Misbah, with Allah salawat? Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa ajil farjahum.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Inna anzalnahu fi laylatil qadr wa ma adraka ma laylatul qadr. Laylatul qadri khayrun min alf shahr. Tanazzalul malaikatu war-ruhu fiha bibnihim min salamun hatta matla'il fajr. Sadaqallahul aliyyul azim.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa ajil farjahum.
In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. Lo, we revealed it on the night of Par. What the night of Par is. The night of Par is better than 1,000 months. The agent of the Spirit descend their end by the permission of their Lord with all decrees that night his peace until the rising of the dawn.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa ajil farjahum. Okay, thank you Mohsin and Misbah. That kind of links up with our first thing that Hussein's going to be talking about Ramadan, doesn't it, Hussein?
Yes.
Yeah. But before we go on to that, can we have our first salawat in honor of the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him? Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa ajil farjahum. Can we have a second salawat in honor of our holy first Imam Ali alayhi salam? Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa ajil farjahum. The third with our loudest voices in honor of the Imam of our time, Imam Sahib al-Usri was Zaman. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa ajil farjahum. Okay. Let's start saying off with another loud salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa ajil farjahum.
Ramadan is the most sacred month of the year for Muslims. The Prophet Muhammad said, when the month of Ramadan starts, the gates of heaven are opened and the gates of hell are closed and the devils are chained. Muslims believe it is during this month that God revealed the first verses of the Quran, Islam's sacred text, to Muhammad alayhi on a night known as the Night of Power. Fasting is obligatory in Islam on sane adults, Muslims, both men and women. However, there are people on whom fasting is not obligatory. A traveler who must shorten his prayers cannot fast. Old age people to whom fasting causes extreme hardship are exempted from fasting. Any other person is also exempted from fasting to whom it causes extreme hardship. Any person who suffers from a disease which causes suffer from extensive thirst or under extreme hardship is exempted from fasting. Pregnant ladies are exempted from fasting. Muslims are required to fast from dawn when the whiteness in the sky starts to spread before sunrise and continues till redness after sunset passes the top. The practice of fasting serves several spiritual and social purposes. To remind you of your human fragility and your dependence on God for substances, to show you what it feels like to be hungry and thirsty, so you feel compassion for and a duty to help the poor and needy, and to reduce the distractions in life, so you can more clearly focus on your relationship with God.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad wa ajil farjahum. Thank you. Okay, so like what Hussein said, it's Ramadan, and today is the 5th of Ramadan, and Hussein was saying in this month also, what was revealed to Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him?
The Quran.
The
First
Quran.
verses.
Yeah, the first few verses of the Quran was revealed to Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, in this month. And what was the surah that you just read at the start?
Surah Al-Qadr.
Yeah, and what was that about?
The night of power.
About the night of power.
Which was the night of what?
Qadr.
What happened on that night?
The first few verses of the Quran was revealed to
Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and that surah was just about that. What do we do in this month, like Hussein said?
Fast.
Yeah, we fast, don't we? We fast. What was meant by those fasting? What was it to show? Hussein?
For spiritual and social stuff, so your mind is clear, so you focus on specific stuff like building a relationship with God.
Yeah, and it shows how fragile we are and how we need Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and it shows us that we feel this hunger and first that we feel this, so we feel compassion for the ones who are feeling this every single day, so we give charity even more than we are that we now do, because we all give charity, don't we? We have to. It's part of the food. Yeah, it is part of that. So we give charity, but this thing that we're doing, fasting that we're doing, shows that it makes us feel the hunger and thirst of those people who are suffering this every day, so it wants us to give more to them. Okay, thank you, Hussein. Okay, so what is so now we've got Ramadan out the way. What is today's topic?
Prophet Sulaiman.
Yeah, Prophet Sulaiman. And Hussein's got the first thing, so could we start Hussein off with the loud salawat? Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad wa ajil farjahum.
He was 13 years old when his father Prophet Dawood died. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala granted him with the greatest kingdom that any king has ever ruled over. He was also granted the blessing of knowing the language of the birds and animals. Even the wind would obey him. His army consisted of men, jinn, animals and birds. He was once marching with his army to a place called the Valley of Ants, which had lots of gems and valuable metal. And valuable metal buried in it. In the valley there were large ants which stopped people from coming into the valley. When the chief of the ants saw the army of Prophet Sulaiman coming, he told all the other ants to go inside their houses, in case Prophet Sulaiman and his army would crush them. So what?
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad wa ajil farjahum. Okay, thank you. So now, Prophet Sulaiman actually his who was his father?
Prophet Dawood.
Yeah, and we did that topic last topic, wasn't that? It was Prophet Dawood, wasn't it? Yeah, that was his father, and his father actually died when Prophet Sulaiman was only 13 years old. He was only 13 years old when his father died. So his father, when his father actually died, he was 13 years old, and he's actually now been given this kingdom that no other king, this greatest kingdom that no other king was ever given before. And so that's one of the things that has been given to Prophet Sulaiman alayhi salam. And Misbah has the next thing, so could we start Misbah with the loud salawat? Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad wa ajil farjahum.
Prophet Sulaiman alayhi salam heard what the chief of the ants had said. Prophet Sulaiman alayhi salam smiled and asked his army to be careful not to hurt the ants. Prophet Sulaiman alayhi salam thanked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for giving him the wisdom to understand and be able to save lives. One day, Prophet Sulaiman alayhi salam noted that his messenger bird Hudhud was missing. A little while later, Hudhud came back and reported to him saying, I have brought to you information from Saba. Indeed, I have found a woman ruling over them, and she has been given a plenty and a great throne. I found her and her people worshipping the sun instead of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Salawat.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad wa ajil farjahum. Thank you, Mister. Okay, so now what power did Prophet Solomon have? What ability did he have?
He could understand the languages of the animals, and like he could sort of control the wind.
Yeah. So he could understand what the animals were saying. So when Hussein was talking about when Prophet Solomon was actually heard the ants, he could hear them because he could understand them, because he had this power given to him by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so he could listen to the languages of all animals. So now his bird, what was it called?
Hudhud.
Yeah, and it was while it was passing by this place, he saw these group of people. What were they worshipping?
Idols.
No, they were worshipping the sun.
Yeah, they were worshipping the sun. We've come across now of idol worshippers, now people worshipping the sun. So why would people worship things like this and being ignorant like that and thinking like the sun is the creation?
Because it came up every single morning.
And it was the most powerful thing to see.
Yeah.
They thought it was the most powerful thing to see because it was
It was the brightest.
Yeah. And why did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make sure that they actually got noticed by Prophet Sulaiman? Why? So what can't they make excuse on Judgment Day?
Oh, that they had no guidance.
Yeah.
No guidance.
If Allah never made Prophet Sulaiman aware of this, then they would say on the Day of Judgment that no one was there to guide them, no one was there to show them, so how would they know? That's what they would say. But then it says, so he did this, so they have no excuse for that. So now he's actually found out that these people are worshipping the sun. And what is his duty as a prophet?
To guide them to the right path.
Yeah, it's his duty to guide them to the right path as a prophet. So he has to help them, doesn't he? So he has to actually help them to go into the right path. So this is what Prophet Sulaiman would be doing, because they are worshipping the sun, and so they have no excuse at the end of the day when it comes to the Day of Judgment. So they have no excuse that no guidance was given to them, no person came to them saying that what you're doing is wrong. So Allah sent Prophet Sulaiman to stop them from doing this, so they have no excuse, and so they actually listen to him and follow on the straight path. Mohsin has the next thing, so could we start Mohsin off with the loud Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad wa ajil farjahum.
Prophet Solomon alayhi salam sent a letter to Bilqis, the queen of Saba, saying, in the name of Allah, the kind, the merciful, do not elevate yourself and come towards me in submission to Allah. As a Muslim, Quran Surah Namal. When Bilqis received the letter, he consulted her ministers and decided to send Prophet Sulaiman alayhi salam gifts and then wait for his reaction. Salawat.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad wa ajil farjahum. Thank you, Mohsin. Okay, so now what's happened, he's actually sent this letter. What was the letter saying, Mohsin?
It was saying about do not elevate me.
What did it start off with? That we should start off everything that we do.
In the name of Allah,
Yeah.
the Beneficent, the Merciful.
Which is what?
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Yeah, he started the letter off with this. In the name of Allah, the Most Kind, the Most Merciful, and then he continued. Mama said, what did he continue saying?
Do not elevate me.
So what he's trying to do, he's now written this letter so they could respond, and he told them a few things about what Mohsin has said. He's told a few things, and now what she will do when he told them, and so they can get in a conversation, and so Prophet Solomon can actually help them. And now the queen of that area at that time, what's her name? What was her name?
Sabah. No,
Bilqis.
Yeah, it was the queen's name was Bilqis, and she was ruling of that place. So that queen has actually told her people to actually get some presents, round some presents, and send it to Prophet Solomon alayhi salam, to see his reaction. Misbah the next thing, so could we start Misbah with the loud salawat? Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad wa ajil farjahum.
Prophet Sulaiman alayhi salam welcomed the messengers and asked for the reply to his letter. When they presented him with the gifts, he said, "What are these riches? I've been given such blessings from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that are matched by none. Return to your country and inform your queen that I am sending such an army towards Sabbath that no one will be able to defeat." Salawat.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad wa ajil farjahum. Thank you. Okay, so now they've actually sent these presents, and he's what has he done? So now they've Bilqis, the queen of that time,
He told him to go back and
send the present back, yeah?
and send the present back and
Who's saying?
He told them to send the present back, and I'm going to send an army so nobody will be able to subvert, so nobody can be able to defend.
Yeah, and he's sending this army. And what did his army conceive of? What was in his army?
Animals, jinns,
animals, and men.
Yeah, men, jinn, and animals. Okay, the animals he could talk to, yeah, and the jinns as well. Because we can't see jinns, can we? Because Allah did say in the Quran that He's made two creations, clever, exceeded the top creations of this earth, jinns and humans, and they would be judged on the day of judgment. Jinns and humans will be judged on the day of judgment. So He's made these beings, so He's actually made these beings so they would be judged on the day of judgment, the two, man and jinn. So he actually had jinns and what else? Jinns, men
and animals
in his army. So he sent these army to go actually kind of like a scaring tactic because he's actually sent the presents back to see his reaction, because he sent a letter, didn't he, saying that you should not elevate all these the sun as well. That's why he was saying because you shouldn't worship the sun, and he's actually told her, he's actually said it in the name of Allah, the Most Kind, the Most Merciful. And so she's actually sent presents in kind of like a sarcastic way, hasn't she? She's done this. he's done this in a sarcastic way. So he's said to kind of like scare her a little tiny bit. It's not exactly to scare her, but to actually show her that he's got control of these animals, and jinns follow him, and men see him as true enough to follow him, that she should actually not actually like worship the sun, should she, and should actually convert to Islam. Hussein has the next thing, so could we start with saying off with the loud salawat?
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad wa ajil farjahum. When Bilqis received this message and the report about the power of Prophet ﷺ, she decided to submit herself before him and accepted his invitation to embrace Islam. When Prophet ﷺ learned that she was coming to his kingdom, he turned to his people and said, which of you can bring me her throne before they come here in submission? One jinn said, I will bring it before you. But one who had been taught the special name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by Prophet ﷺ said he who had some knowledge of the book, I will bring it to you before your eye blinks. When he Sulaiman saw the throne set up beside him, he said, this is by the grace of my Lord, so that he may test whether I am grateful or ungrateful. Salawat.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad wa ajil farjahum. Thank you, Hussein. Okay, so now she's actually accepted Islam, and she's actually gone to your kingdom to actually submit and say that she's actually gone into Islam, like officially confirm it. So so she's now going to do this, and now she's actually set off, and Prophet Sulaiman has said that who can bring her throne before she actually comes here. One jinn says that I can, but some other creature says because he's been teach the name of God, he's been taught the name of God, and he's actually been being helped by God with Prophet Sulaiman, peace be upon him. So in a blink of Prophet Sulaiman's eye, he could bring the chair and the throne back there. So at the time that she comes, it'll be already there. So the creature has done this, hasn't he? He's done this now. And what did Prophet Sulaiman say? So now the phone's there, and he said, by who?
By the Lord.
Yeah, by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that this has happened, hasn't it? Because without him, that nothing actually would actually happen, would it?
To testify I'm grateful or ungrateful.
Yeah, and to do that as well. Mohsin has got the next thing, so could we start Mohsin off with the loud salawat? Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad wa ajil.
In preparation for the arrival of Bilqis, Prophet Sulaiman ﷺ had ordered a palace of glass to be built. Under the glass floor there was with various kinds of fish swimming in it. When Bilqis arrived, he took her to the palace. Bilqis was fooled by the appearance of water and hitched up her dress to stop her bare feet getting wet. When she realized her mistake, she at once understood that Prophet Sulaiman ﷺ was trying to tell her. He was showing her that the things are not always what they seem, and even if the sun worshipped was the most powerful thing to see, it was Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who created it. Prophet Sulaiman ﷺ then returned her to Saba and allowed her to rule in his name. Salawat.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad wa ajil farjahum. Okay, so he's got her throne, and those people are coming. It would be quite a long journey, wouldn't it? So now Prophet Sulaiman has actually ordered the people to build like this thing, and there's glass at the bottom, a glass palace, and there's water and like fish underneath. Yeah. Who has been to like a sea life place? Who's been? Has any of you been?
Yeah.
Yeah, you've been. Most of you've been as well, and Miss, I think you have been as well. So if you've gone there, you will actually see as you like walking through the tunnels, those big glass around, and it doesn't actually look like the glass is there, does it? And it looks like it's actually coming at you. Don't you think?
Yeah.
Actually, like you're underwater, and it actually is kind of strange to see this. And this is what the same thing that happened to Balqis. So she was walked there. She's got into the palace, and she's actually pulled up her dress so it doesn't get wet. And as she's walking on it, she sees like sound of glass. Yeah, and then she realized that Prophet Sulaiman is trying to tell her that things are not all that they seem. So like when you're in that Sea Life Center, it looks like they're coming at you, but not. There's protective glass there, isn't there? Yeah. So that's kind of the same thing that happened with Bilqis, the queen that was there at the time. Okay, so the queen actually converted to Islam now, and actually is ruling Prophet Sulaiman's name and by the laws of Islam. So can we, Hussein has got the last thing, so could we start saying off with the loud salawat? Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad wa ajil farjahum.
Prophet Sulaiman ruled over his people with justice for a long time. His power extended across most of the known world. This unique was in response to his prayers, which is recorded in the Holy Quran. He said, "O my Lord, forgive me and grant me kingdom such as shall not benefit anyone after me. Verily, you are the granter of bounties without measure." One day, Prophet Sulaiman called all his army of men, jinn, animals, and birds together. He wanted to inspect them. He climbed on top of his palace to see them. It was there whilst he was viewing his kingdom that the angel of death came. Prophet Sulaiman was still leaning on his stick. It was only when a worm ate through the stick, and he fell that the men and the jinn in his army realized that he had died.
Salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad wa ajil farjahum. Okay, thank you, Hussein. Okay, so now he's actually taken his army to inspect it, and he's actually leaned there, and the angel of death has come and actually taken his soul, and because so he's been leaning on his staff, because this worm has actually gone through his staff, has eaten through the wood, actually he actually fell down, and the jinn and men knew that he died. So they would have been there a long time, don't you think? Like couple of minutes, because for the worm to get through. So then Prophet Sulaiman fell down. Prophet Sulaiman alayhi salam fell down, and then they realized that he's actually passed away. Okay, so he's actually done a lot in his life, hasn't it? And he's done very well, hasn't he? He's spread Islam a lot from where he was to the place where Bilqis was ruling, and that place would stay and would carry on, and people in there would carry on spreading Islam, don't you think? Yeah. Okay, so now we go on to the quiz at the end of today's show. So how much out of 100% do you think you're going to win?
100.
110.
90. Okay, same going down today. Okay, number one, Prophet Sulaiman was given a, and then there's a blank. We actually remember The last show that we did, there was blanks in the sentences. We're going for that. Prophet Sulaiman alayhi salam was given a blank. No king was ever given before. Misbah?
A kingdom?
Yeah, the greatest kingdom that no king was ever given before. Okay, number 2. Prophet Sulaiman alayhi salam had an ability to understand the language of Mohsin?
Birds and animals.
Yeah, birds and animals. 3. His bird blank one day informed the queen of blank. Hussein?
Hudhud informed the queen of Islam.
Oh. What was the place? Misbah?
Saba.
Oh,
Yeah, that's actually right. So the point is given to Misbah. So yeah, you said 1. Okay, I'll give you 1 point, and Misbah can have the other point. Okay, so Mohsin, you're on 1 point. Misbah, you're on 2, and Hussein, you're on 1. Okay. 4. The queen and her people worshipped the blank. Hussein?
Sun.
Yes, the sun. 5. Prophet Sulaiman alayhi salam wrote a letter to accept the blank and come in his presence to submit to blank. Mohsin? Okay, I'll say it again. Prophet Sulaiman alayhi salam wrote a letter to accept blank and come his presence to submit. Okay, so do the first bit. Prophet Sulaiman alayhi salam wrote a letter to accept
Islam.
Yes, and come in his presence to submit.
To Allah.
Yes, that's right. So Mohsin, you got 2 points. Hussein, you got 2 points, and Misbah, you got 3 points. 3 or 2. Yes, you got 2. So you're all on a draw. Okay. 6. The queen only did after he refused her blank gift and threatened to send his blank to his army. Hussein?
I can repeat the question.
The queen only did so as he refused her blank gift.
Does that make sense?
Go on, think.
The queen. Read it one more time, please.
Okay. The queen did so after he refused her blank gifts. That's the first bit.
The queen did so. Submit.
No. What, Mohsin?
Can you repeat the question?
Okay. The queen only did so after he blank gifts.
Only did so. Only did so.
After he refused.
Only.
Okay, it looks like you're having trouble on that. So let's skip that bit. And threatened to send his blank to her land. You saying?
Army.
Yes, his army to her land.
3.
Okay, number 7. Before the queen arrived, Prophet Sulaiman alayhi salam summoned a jinn to bring her. You saying?
Her phone.
Yeah, her phone. Prophet Sulaiman had a blank built for her arrival of the queen. Misbah?
He had a glass built with.
No,
It's
wait.
blank.
Prophet Sulaiman, Misbah is still got Misbah. Prophet Sulaiman had a glass, you got that right, blank built. What did he have built?
A king.
5, 3, 5 for second, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, Mohsin.
He had them built a glass palace with
Before the
creatures.
arrival of the queen. Yeah, that's what it is. So at the end of that round, Hussein has how much?
4.
4.
Okay,
Three.
need to keep track of these. And Mohsin
Yeah,
has 3, and Misbah has 3.
2.
You had more than that.
Nope.
Yeah, she had more than that.
Yeah, 3.
We need to keep track of these.
So 3, 3,
Yeah, 3-3-4. Okay,
Draw.
so at the end of that round, Hussein is in first place with 4
And we
points,
got a draw.
and joint second place, Mohsin and Misbah with 3 points. So just remember, don't forget, you're all winners. Well done. I hope you at home learned a lot from today's show. I hope you at home answered a few of these questions on today's show and got them actually right. Okay, so remember that it is Ramadan, and we should be fasting as well. So Mohsin and Misbah, you should actually try to practice, so when you're older that you should that, because we have to fast, don't we, when we're older? Yeah, we're gonna have to fast when we're older. It's wajib when we're older.
When boys become 14, it's wajib for them. To, and when girls become
yes, it is. Thank you, Misbah. So when boys become 14, it's wajib on them, but when girls are 9, it's wajib on them as well to actually do all the wajib things like salah, pray, and actually fast. That's one of the wajib things that they need to do in the month of Ramadan. Okay, so thank you for joining us all on today's show. Hope you at home learned a lot from today's show, and I wish you good luck with all your fasting that you're going to do for the rest of the month. We're going to be here same time, same place next week on Hidayat TV. But until then, good Hafiz.